fucking nothing. Thank you. God, that was awful. That was really genuinely a horrible experience the entire time. Oh, God. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. No, go away. Not a fan, and like I say, most of the... whatever. Levels like this I'm just never a fan of. The like big, flashy, we got all the big name creators to make a Extreme Demon collab type of levels. I almost never enjoy, and this is not an exception. Like I say, the two parts in this level that I have zero complaints with are the two parts that Marwet contributed to before the drop. I thought the gameplay in those was genuinely flawless, as I would expect from Marwek, and I think the one part maybe had Burgaz's gameplay instead of Marwek gameplay. I don't know. Does Burgaz make game? I genuinely don't know. But I think so. But those two parts were great. Genuinely lovely. The rest of the level's just so finicky and awkward and not fun. It's just not fun. A lot of the gameplay just isn't fun to pull off. Like it's a lot of it was fine. Like Jenkins's part was fine. I didn't have any major complaints. It was a little weird and convoluted in some spots. There were a few points where you had to hold in a weird, awkward way to do something, whatever. But it was fine. It worked. It functioned fine. It just wasn't super actively fun. It was just kind of like clicking some spots, and sometimes it works and is good. And well, it was the kind of gameplay where you learn where to click, and it doesn't really sync with the song, and it's not really satisfying to do, but you know where to click now, and then you do it. And that was a lot of the parts in this level. The first two parts are just really awkward in general. I don't know what I did on my completion attempt, but I'm pretty sure I skipped the first orb on my completion attempt. And you can just do that, and it made this ship in to the next part like 10 times more consistent for me. If I hit the green orb and I was upside down, I was getting like pushed down off of the one slope out of the little like slope little thing. And I think, again, I can totally see that being a 2.2 thing, and maybe it worked fine in 2.1. I'll totally let BIANOX and whoever created that part blame Rob for that, if that's actually what happened. Or even if that's not what happened, blame Rob anyway, I don't care. The next part with all the slopes was just, like, kind of awkward. Like, a lot of the clicks were just awkward, unnecessarily tight. They weren't satisfying to pull off. Again, you just learned how to do it, and you did it, and then it was done. There was no fun factor to that part. Then I, like I said, the two Marwek parts were fucking phenomenal, man. Stellar as always from Marwek. Very few complaints, if any. And then the drop starts, Jenkins is fine. The next part is, I want to say, what is it, Para and Scrumpy? I really didn't pay attention, but I think the next part's Para Scrumpy. Part's okay. It's fine. I don't have any major complaints. It's just weird. It's fine. Again, same deal as Jenkins's part, where like it's fine. It wasn't actively fun. I didn't thoroughly enjoy it, but it was fine. It was tolerable, right? If the rest of the level was good, I wouldn't have batted an eye. If I enjoyed the rest of the level, I wouldn't have batted an eye, right? I thought it was solid. Then BIANOX's part I thought was actually not great. Most of BIANOX's part was totally fine. The black orbs into red orbs at the beginning of the first UFO, ew. Gameplay creators, please avoid this at all costs. Especially with UFO, because UFO speeds up the longer you wait off of a black orb. It speeds up. Not super noticeable in this context, but it's still not good practice, because it makes those red orbs just like really awkward, click-dependent timings that just aren't super fun. They were okay to pull off when you pulled them off. They felt like when you when you did them how you thought you were going to do them, it was fine. But sometimes you just would die to them for no reason. Because, or I mean, the reason is you didn't do it right. But for what seems like no reason. Because off of the black orb, your trajectory is so steep into the red orb that, like, 3 frames, 4 frames of difference can mean a whole, like, half a block height difference on the red orb, right? And it's like, the red orb timing is lenient enough that you're probably not going to die, but you might end up in a spot you weren't expecting to be in. It really wasn't my favorite set of clicks. The rest of the part was fine, no complaints. Not my favorite, but it was serviceable. Faraday's part, I think it's Faraday Funky, right? Who has the little, like, power symbol as his logo, was actually really solid. I liked this part a lot. This was probably one of the other parts in the level I thought was enjoyable. The wave duels were actually really solid. The only little complaint I have is the first click of the second wave duel I thought was a little weird. The transition is awkward. You have to do like a short click, but not a short click, right? It was not my favorite, but it was very learnable and it got super consistent. Then after Faraday's part is, I think this is Womb's robot part. This part, I hate this part. I hate this part. I absolutely despise this part. And I really honestly can't tell you why. It just genuinely felt like 2 difficulties above the rest of the level. And a lot of the clicks in it were just really awkward and not well indicated and like finicky, because there's like, it's just, I thoroughly hated this part. I died here, we're probably approaching 10 times from 0, and I spent like 120 attempts from 0 playing the level. You know what I mean? Like, I spent like 120 attempts from 0 playing this level. Not even, actually. Probably more like 100, because I never... Yeah, probably like less than 100, and I probably died to that robot part like close to 10 times. Like 1 in 10 of my attempts from 0 dying to that robot part is probably a very good estimation. It's just like... Ugh. Bleh. Not fun. Not fun. Did not like it. The clicks were way too precise. They're just awkward and not great. Not good. I just thoroughly hated that part. Thoroughly hated that part. Probably my least favorite part of the level. It wouldn't have been my least favorite part because I dislike the first 2 parts more, I think, quality-wise. I just don't think the gameplay is up to par in the first 2 parts, but they're at the beginning, so, like, whatever. This part was at, like, what, 63? Started at 63, ends at, like, 70-something? Like, fuck off, dude. God, what's after Womb's part? Why do I just genuinely not remember? Oh, the square pink orbs part. Yeah, this part was fine. Again, there's another part that, like, functions, so I can't really complain. Whatever. Not my favorite, but it was fine. You know what I mean? Not my favorite. It was fine. It was playable. You could beat it. The part after it, I thought had some promise. I genuinely thought this part had some promise. A lot of the gameplay in it I thought was pretty fun. The second black orb, because it's red to black and then red to black again. The second black orb I thought was kind of gross because it's very dependent on the previous red orb, more so than the other set of orbs, because you have to hit the black orb pretty early past the spike, the second one, pretty early past the spike so that you hit the pads and then can jump off the platform. If you do it too late, you just either miss the platform or miss the pads or whatever. It's not a great click. It's not my favorite, but it got consistent enough, so no big deal. The rest of that part was fine, for the most part. Like, the UFO, the mini UFO I thought was actually kind of sick. I'm like, okay, we got some, like, it's like on the beat, click, 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 click. But I'm like, okay, hey, you know what? There's so many of these parts in these levels just, like, didn't sync at all. Oh, Faraday's part, I should mention. Faraday's part I also quite enjoyed because it synced really well. It used the song intelligently, I thought. But this part did too. I was like, this is really promising. And then the end of the part has one of the grossest click-dependent blue orbs I've ever seen. It was just, like, so odd. Like, right at the end, you have the jump, then the blue orb in the portal, and then the next blue orb, where you have to, like, time it onto the platform in between the small spike and the spikes above it. And I'm like, that's nasty, especially with the camera kind of panning up at that moment, so you're not, like, it's not centered in the screen. You can't really tell where you are. It was not fun. It was just a really awkward click. Thank God, somehow, I did not die to that blue orb specifically from 0, but I was fully expecting to. It's a nasty click. It is a nasty click. And then the last wave and ship are like genuinely could be in a hard demon. It was just like weird that those were the end, but I'll take an easy ending, right? I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, overall it was just like fine. It was fine. It could have been so much better. The song is so hype. The deco's really, really cool. It's done really well. The theme throughout has like holds up really solidly. I think everyone did a great job at actually contributing to the level as a whole visually instead of just like making a part they wanted to make. You know what I mean? Like visually the whole level fits really well together. The gameplay is just so lackluster at times for me, and I will say I'm going to chalk a little bit of it up to me being very tired right now, but I'm not going to chalk nearly all of it up to that. There are some really, in my opinion, glaring issues here, and then also just a lot of nothing gameplay. Like I said, the first two parts were just they were there for me. They didn't really do anything, right? And I wanted them to, because I'm like, this is, especially the first few parts of a level, like, you're setting the tone for the rest of the level, and they were just like, nah. And then Marwick came in with banger gameplay as usual. Just phenomenally fun. And then the rest of the level was like, fine. It was okay. I think it was, for me, it was more good than bad. I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it, but I can't say I was having, like, active fun with it, more than I do just, like, playing, you know, star grinding in G or something else, right? It was fine. It was whatever. It was a level. I beat it. Yippee. I guess at some point I'll probably end up doing the other two parts of this series, but I'm not in any hurry to after this one, because Jesus Christ, this one had some issues. And like I say, this kind of level's just usually not for me. Like, the people that they get to build in levels like this, the people that BIANOX gets in collabs like this, and just that end up building in collabs like this in general, are usually not the people whose gameplay I enjoy the most. So I'm not surprised that there were parts that kind of stood out as being less fun than others, and the experience overall was very neutral to meh. But like I say, it was fine. It was fine. I don't know whether to give this above or below a 50, but like I say, I think I enjoyed it more than I didn't enjoy it, but not by much. It was very middle of the road. It was whatever. It was whatever. It was tolerable. I beat it. I just wanted to do an extreme. I remembered this one existed and decided I could probably do it in a day, which was true, and I did it in a day. Yippee for me. Whatever. All right. I'm going to cut the recording here now. Bye.